then this one down here is the bridging exercise. This isn't so much a stretch as a strengthening exercise for the lower back. Okay? Once again, if you're sitting at a desk 8 hours a day, you need to strengthen your lower back. You need to strengthen your abdominals. Those muscles are the core muscles. Those muscles are going to help you to prevent low back injury, prevent low back fatigue, stuff like that. Okay? So this one right here, the bridging exercise, you lay down on your back, you lift your hips off the ground, it's going to strengthen up the muscle in your lower back. Okay, I came up with some other stretches here for your extremities, for your arms and for your legs. Okay, rotator cuff. Everybody heard of the rotator cuff before? Yeah, shoulder muscles. Let's see, a few slides ago, this one, that's a good start for the rotator cuff, but there are other ones you can use. They're easy to use. It's easy to do with a door frame. You're going to stand and do something like this. You should feel that stretching right back here. Yeah. You can do it higher. You can do it lower. Okay. Yeah, so you can do that both ways. Hamstrings, those are the muscles on the back of the leg. Those are important to stretch because when we're sitting, that muscle is shortened. Okay? When you're sitting, your leg is, you have your knee and your hip bent, so that muscle shortens. Okay? We want to keep that muscle straightened out. You can do something as simple as putting your foot up on a chair and then leaning forward. You should feel that stretch on the back of your leg. You can do lean forward, touch your toes. You can do that type of stuff. You can sit on the floor, lean forward. That would be a hurdlers stretch. All those things can stretch out the hamstrings. Hip flexors is the other thing. So when you're sitting, your hip is like this, right? So this muscle right here, your hip flexor, is going to become shortened as well. The way to stretch that is the lunge, like this. You can see that? Bend both knees, like this. You should feel a stretch right in front of you. If you really want a good stretch, push your shoulders back. Do that both sides. I stretch both sides. It's a good idea. Oh, the other thing with the hip flexor is, it's kind of a weird muscle that attaches to the inside of your leg, and it travels diagonally through your hip and attaches to your spine. Okay? So a tight hip flexor will actually put pressure on your lower back. Okay? If you're ever having low back pain, you can't get to the chiropractor, stretch out your hip flexors, stretch out your hamstrings, and do some crunches or do some sit-ups for your abdominals. Okay? And get adjusted if you can. But if you can't, do those two stretches and that strengthening exercise. Okay? Oh, traction. I threw this one in there once again because it's the neck. Okay? We need to keep a good curve in the neck. So traction is where you stretch your head back like that. Okay? It's going to keep a good curve. It's all too common for people who sit at a desk to be leaning forward like that. Okay? Keeping your head back like that is going to be very important. Puts a better curve in your neck. You guys have any questions yet?
What did you say about the low back pain? The hip flexor, hamstring, and then what else?
Flexor, hamstring. Oh, crunches. Abdominal work. Yep. Everybody know the difference between a crunch and a true sit-up?
Crunch, you're not pulling yourself all the way up.
Right, yeah. Crunch is you're just coming up, just bringing your shoulder blades off the ground. That's really all you need for your abdominals. When you're doing a true sit-up where you're like coming all the way up to your knees, you're really working, you're doing some abdominals, but you're working your hip flexors as well. Okay? So to try to isolate your abdominal muscles, you really just do that crunch. Just bring your shoulders up off the ground.
Have the knees bent in an upright position? Can you do that?
For a crunch, yeah, because that'll take the pressure off your lower back. Okay, so there it is, the typical desk worker's posture. It might be slightly exaggerated. Why is it copyrighted?
Well, they tell me.
You know, and I can actually speak from experience because once again, I can't adjust people all day long. I do have to do some desk work. When I'm really busy, I catch myself in a bad posture like this because I get so focused on my work. You know, I'm like, I got to get this done. You know, and then my posture goes bad.
Like deteriorates.
It deteriorates, right? Exactly, because you're not thinking of it. So it's almost like forming a new habit. We have to form a new habit of sitting at a desk. Okay. So let's see here. This guy's head went too far forward. He has that hunchback. Okay. I know this is a big deal with women. Okay. No, women, they do not like to have that hunchback thing. Okay. Well, this is a common cause right there. Flattened out lower back, which puts pressure on the nerves, the control of the legs. This guy's wrist is in a terrible position right here. What's the most common wrist condition?
Carpal
tunnel. Yeah. Right there. Pressure on the spine and the nerves. Okay. So this is what your spine is going to look like tomorrow, right? It's going to be perfect. You're going to have a curve in the neck, good curve in the middle, curve in the lower back. Everything else is going to be just great right there.
Me too.
Cervical, thoracic, lumbar.
All our work tomorrow. Tell us how to sit, right?
I should, right? That's my new job. Posture, please. Yeah, so if we can maintain the proper curves in our spine, it's going to reduce the nerve interference, which is going to actually increase your body's function. The nervous system, like most of you know, is controlling everything in your body, right? Your organs, your muscles, your joints, everything's controlled by a nerve. The organs and the physiological processes that go on in your body, that's the most important stuff, okay? You know, we, of course, want to be pain-free all the time, but it's actually more important that our organs are running and stuff like that. Nerve stress causes more than just pain, okay? The big problems are stomach problems, heart problems, spinal problems that result in surgery someday. Those are the big problems. What affects people kind of on a day-to-day basis, the stiff neck, the sore back, headaches, hand pain, stuff like that, okay? Remember, though, the 10% rule, okay? Only 10% of your nerves can feel pain. So in other words, 90% of your nerves have nothing to do with how you feel. You can have a huge problem and not realize it. Does that sound familiar? Yeah, okay. The classic example is heart disease, right? I've said this so many times. The classic example is heart disease. You feel great your whole life, and then, boom, you have a heart attack. You didn't develop heart disease overnight. You've had heart disease for usually decades, okay, before you actually have a symptom. So, you can't rely on how you feel, how healthy you are. Stomach problems, high blood pressure. Oh, another good one. Poor posture. Okay, so if you're sitting all hunched over your desk like this, okay, how can that cause stomach problems? What do you guys think?
Pushes on your bowels.
Yeah, pushes on all your digestive organs, your stomach, your intestine, all that stuff. It's going to cause all kinds of problems. Okay. How does this posture cause high blood pressure? Pushes on your heart. Yeah. You're compressing your heart. So your heart has to pump harder to get the blood out. Your heart has to work harder to get the blood all over your body.
It can't flow.
Yeah, because you're pressing, your ribs are pushing down on your heart, just like that. Yeah. Not to mention, as my back hunches over like this, the nerves on my upper back, which control the heart, are being interfered with. Okay? The nerves in your upper back control the heart and the lungs. So if you have subluxation in your upper back, you have to get that area adjusted because that's controlling your heart and your lungs. Okay, I do not believe in covering up all your symptoms with pain pills, right? You guys probably heard me say that before too. Especially stuff that can be corrected, okay? Medications are necessary at some point. I understand that.